There's a serious problem with the gaming industry. Let me tell you a story. Imagine, for a second, that you have a little boy called Brock. For as long as Brock could remember, he has been a massive fan of the pirate genre. Whether it was books, movies, documentaries, the fact of the matter was that if it had anything to do with pirates, he would indulge in it. So one day, he becomes old enough to play video games. Naturally, he began to search for anything pirate related, until he realized something. There just aren't any pirate games. Like, at all. But have you ever wondered why? Why do they seem like they get left behind in comparison with other genres within the gaming industry? What is this? A map of convenient answers? What? That's it? We just have to follow the map and it will slowly reveal the answer. What are we waiting for? So off I went to discover the truth from the magical pirate treasure map that I just found, which was totally not something that I wrote down on a piece of paper. It wanted me to analyze some of the most well-known pirate games out there, in hopes that it'll lead us one step closer to the truth. But now, it was time to decipher what game to cover first. Alright, so I think I know where this map is leading me, okay? The first part of the map is actually a riddle, and it goes like this. A pirate's creed in waters deep, shadows play, secrets keep. Sails for Caribbean seas, where assassin's flag flies with ease. I think this is none other than Assassin's. Although it wasn't the first open world pirate game, it most definitely did push the limits of what had been previously done before. You can sail around the map, engage in hand-to-hand combat, and even have some epic sea battles for yourself. Also, for a game that was released more than a decade ago, the graphics still look pretty nice. One thing I heard many people say about this game is how they love the openness to it. Sailing around from town to town, doing side quests, and hunting down merchant vessels. In many ways, Black Flag ticks off everything of what a pirate game should be. Although, I do have to admit something. I've actually never played Black Flag. Although I haven't played it, I have seen a little bit of gameplay online, and to be honest, in my opinion, I'm not really a big fan of the whole arcadey ship combat. Not really sure why, it just has never really appealed to me. I guess a big disclaimer that I should mention. Although this is a pirate-themed game, it's not necessarily a pirate game. You have to understand that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the 4th Assassin's Creed game of the Assassin's Creed games. So obviously it's already an established title and it is the 4th installment of an already popular franchise. So yes, naturally it is going to be more successful than a standalone pirate game. But nonetheless, people still consider this as a pirate game. So maybe that's why the map led us here. Overall, this game was revolutionary for its time, had a good story along with some gameplay elements, and delivered what many would consider the ultimate pirate experience. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, it's a good game. Oh, another map! In the realm where titans sleep, Atlas's world, secrets keep. Sail beyond where maps may chart, adventure calls, ignite the spark. Guys, since I'm very smart, I think this map is talking about... If Black Flag was regarded as one of, if not the best pirate game out there, this would be the complete opposite. Atlas is actually a spin-off from the very famous Ark Survival Evolved. Ah yes, because nothing screams more pirate than a dinosaur survival game? Now, similar to Ark, this game puts you in an online map where you can build your own base and encounter other players, who will probably burn down your base just for the fun of it, despite its predecessor being really successful. This game wasn't received well, not because it was a bad idea, but because many of the problems that plagued its predecessor were just as present, if not more here. And if you don't know what those problems are, let me explain them to you. Let's just say that you are a baker, right? You're a baker at Pidgey's Kitchen, right? Let's just say that you have 3 items on your menu. You have brookies, you have cookies, and you have cinnamon rolls, right? And then all of a sudden, you want to add a new item to the menu. Let's say, you want to add ice cream to the menu. But there's a problem. You've never actually made ice cream before. But you don't have time to practice making ice cream because you need to add it right now, otherwise your business is gonna fail. So you add ice cream to the menu and you serve it to people. Now, as you're serving it to people, you realize that it isn't as good as it could be. It isn't really hitting that well with the current market of your customers, right? So what do? Now you talk to your customers, you allow them to give you feedback, you experiment with the flavors, you release it to new audiences, you test it again and again and again until finally you refine the recipe. So now you modify the menu so that it reflects this new recipe of ice cream. So what once started as a broken mess of an ice cream pile of non-deliciousness is now very tasty, and you saved Pidgey's Kitchen from bankruptcy. Pat yourself on the back there. That is basically what this company does not do. Think of the ice cream as game updates. Think of the menu as the base game. What Wildcard does is they just update the game without fixing any of their bugs, which means each update gets worse and worse and worse in quality. And to rub salt to the wound is that ever since day one, you could tell it was not finished.
Stop that. Fuck. I'm on the dinghy. Quote comedy, quote Russell. What the fuck?
How can your game be this bad? How?
This game was simply unplayable. It was extremely laggy, and it was nothing like what the trailer promised. Whoa, an incomplete game that releases half finished and under-delivers on all of its promises? Where have I heard that before? So overall, it seems like it was an incomplete mess that was released a little too early for its own good. Well, I think that's settled then. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? With friends in tow and sails unfurled, navigate the seas in a colorful swirl, where legends live and tales run deep in Sea of Thieves, your destiny to keep. What could it mean? Now here's a game I'm more than familiar with. I'm not gonna lie, I was completely obsessed with this game when it first launched. I would constantly want to hop on even if my friends were offline. I may be a little bit biased when I say this, but I really think this game did something truly special that no other games before it ever did. I mean, for starters, you can do whatever you want. Sure, the options were quite limited at the start of the game, but it was that freedom of being able to hang out with your friends, sail the boat anywhere you wanted to, stop at any island, and investigate anything that caught your attention. I think that was the true magic of this game. Also, ruining somebody's day is always gonna be fun.
Did you just enjoy being a dick?
But if Mr. Pidge from 2018 was here today, he would say that it truly felt like a one-of-a-kind experience. And at the time I thought, this is what the ideal pirate game should be. And to be honest, it was. But we can't ignore the fact that this game was absolutely slandered at launch.
Comes a brand new spin on the child-friendly pirates genre that feels less like a video game and more like a sandbox for Twitch streamers.
Is that it? Is that really it?
Sea of Thieves has like no content.
Definitely not a great game. I don't think it'll be a game that'll be very fondly remembered. 6 months from now, is there even going to be people playing this game?
Like Atlas, Sea of Thieves was released in an unfinished state, albeit less buggy, but still. People were saying it's boring, there's no progression. Even a previous developer that used to work for the company left during the game's early days because, as he stated, it seemed like nobody actually knew what they wanted the game to be. But over the years, the game has received updates and sort of found its footing. But even then, this game has so many problems that I just don't want to go over too much right now. But let's just say that that initial flame of eagerness to play has been reduced to a pathetic cinder. I mean, I still enjoy it when I'm doing my own thing, and I still have a lot of ideas I want to do with this game, so it's not really going anywhere for me. But Pidgeys, how dare you give criticism to this game without actually explaining what this game is doing wrong? Listen, Buster, I don't want to spark a whole debate about Sea of Thieves this or Sea of Thieves that. Me already saying this is divisive enough, and there have already been so many videos covering the state of Sea of Thieves, so just go check them out. Sorry for the rant. Like I said, I have more experience in this game, so yeah. Anyways, now where do I put you? What? A riddle already? We must be getting close. In Bones, the sea's dark embrace, with sails ablaze and daring chase, Blackwake's call, a cruise command, 3 games of plunder in Pirates Land. Of course, the answer's so obvious. It clearly wants me to look over some honorable mentions for pirate games. The honorable mentions in question are Blackwake, Blazing Sails, and Skull and Bones. I decided not to go as in-depth into these because, well, they're not really open-world pirate games. They're mainly just battle royales, which are actually pretty fun, by the way. I highly recommend checking them out. My only wish for these games is for them to have players, because right now they don't really have any. However, there's one game I haven't covered yet. Skull and Bones, everybody. Remember how I said before how you would expect companies to replicate the success of Black Flag to make a new pirate game? Yeah, this game tried, keyword tried, but it failed miserably. The game went through many years of delays, complete changes, overhauls to the game, simply because the developers didn't know what direction they wanted this game to go. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's it. That's it! I think I found the answer. What if the main reason why there aren't any pirate games is because nobody actually knows how to make one? Out of the 3 main pirate games that I went over, only one of them, which came out more than a decade ago, mind you, is still regarded as the best pirate game out there. I think a big reason why this is the case is probably because games nowadays tend to struggle when finding their footing when they first release. It's pretty much common practice now to pay full price for an unfinished game so you can eventually play with everything that was promised initially 5 years down the line. Now, most of the time it might not even be the developer's fault for this. Obviously, they have a time frame to meet within their companies, and yeah, sometimes they can be a bit unreasonable. But even with more than enough time, the devs just struggle to understand what makes a good pirate game. First impressions really do matter. This is what many game companies fail to understand. But who knows? Maybe someday we might get that perfect pirate game, and I can't wait for that day to come. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, save the pigeons.